Awareness is God. Think about it like the pupil. The pupil is what is shared among us. That is eternal, experiencing these dreamed creation designs. And when you get to the understanding in this analogy that the pupil is God, the pupil, the awareness, the consciousness, the observer, the witness, the I am, is what is eternal, and it's shared, the pupil. That's a huge step towards God realization. Now, to merge that wisdom with the wisdom of the uniqueness, the artistic individuation of the iris. That's each of our unique colorations. That unique artistry is an expression of the infinite. We are eternally taking on these unique artistic expressions, which you can see clearly in all of our unique irises. The iris is our unique artistic individuation, our expression. This is very much deeply and profoundly like a synthesis of the perennial wisdom of the spiritual mystic traditions, especially of the East, the non-dual awareness of the pupil, with the unique enlightenment, individuation, realizations of the unique artistry of the West, of modernity. Hold the synthesis, the simultaneity of the non-duality with the unique individuation. You are the pupil that is eternal, that is shared among us, the God, the observer, the witness, while you are also the unique artistic expression, individuation of the iris. That is your creative gift that you are actualizing into this dreamed creation design. And it is all infinity expressing itself. Recognize this, and you got it. Recognize this, and it brings an expansive release of a contracted, egoic, finite, biological energy to a expanded release of infinitude expressing itself. You recognize the God realization of the pupil, and you recognize the God actualization of the iris. And you're able to simultaneity navigate that like a Jedi with deep wisdom and grace, fluidly. You're able to have dialectic at the level of eternity, of infinity, of God realization, of being a mirror and providing really good questions for other people to help them recognize that infinitude, while also on the God actualization, on the infinite actualization, on the iris side, you are able to help with the optimization, especially entrepreneurially. Do people know how to have a high digital quotient? Do they know how to disseminate their artistic ideas mimetically across the information technology age? Do they know how to optimize on an emotional intelligence level? How to ask really good questions to shatter the surface level conversations and get to the depths of the psyche? Can you optimize like a Jedi on both of those angles, on the God realization angle, on the shared eternal observer witness, infinitely expressing itself as these irises, as these unique artistic expressions, and optimize the efficacy of the entrepreneurial creative spirit outward? The yin and yang of the inward with the outward, the inward with the outward, the inward with the outward. Become aware of awareness, eternal and shared, and become aware of the optimization of the artistic expression outward. Boom. That's the direct path to peace and to happiness, to recognition of our infinitude expressing itself in these creation designs. We are all already in union with infinity. That's why it's so frequently talked about like there is no path. It's a pathless path. It's a veilless veil. It's a gateless gate. It's a flat mountain. How do I find the diamond necklace that is already around my neck? You're already it, but the mind is so noisy that it prevents the insight. 2,000 years ago, Patanjali said that yogas chitta vritti nirodha, that yoga, or union with the absolute, with God, is simply the quieting of the waves of consciousness. Quiet the waves of consciousness. We are so immersed in the clouds of thoughts and feelings and emotions and beliefs and perceptions and sensations, objects, seeking happiness and peace externally, that we forget that the sky, the awareness, is eternal, it's shared, and we take that macro level observer view of the clouds as the sky. That's the winning formula. That's the infinite recognizing its own true nature. And then it has the blissful, peaceful experience of the clouds. Because it knows its own true nature while that's happening. And it's able to share that peace and happiness. Like the tantric path, like Ramana Maharshi said with Sahaja Samadhi, you weave your profound realizations into the social fabric, in the dreamed creation design. If there is a struggle with quieting the mind, there are so many great ways to assist with that process. The quieting of the mind can be most simply conquered through respiration. You already have the best tool with you all the time, free of cost. It's called prana for a reason. It's the life force. The life energy itself is right here in the yin and yang of the breath, of the inhalation and the exhalation. Because the monkey mind tries and wanders all the time to all of the different clouds. But what happens is when we focus on the breath and we attentively bring our attention over and over and over again to the breath, over time, The monkey mind, those roots of the monkey mind that spring and wander to the clouds, they calm down, and what opens up is the observer, the sky, the witness, becoming aware of awareness. And that's the game, is to hone in on respiration, hone in on quieting the monkey mind, and allowing the eternal, the infinite observer that is shared among us to open up. Recognize yourself as that sky, and that's it. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi. I and my Father are one. We are it. The diamond necklace around each of our necks, refracting the source light uniquely, because each gem and jewel is its own unique creative expression, artistically outward. That gem / jewel / diamond can be dirty when we don't understand our own true nature, and we go outward as the contracted energy of the finite separate ego. And the turn inward, like the parable of the prodigal son, is the cleansing, the purifying of the diamond, of the jewel, of the mirror, so that it refracts with purity that source light as the absolute highest morality, going outward in that tantric path of maximizing human potential, weaving enlightened realizations into the social fabric. Ask yourself, how do I find the diamond necklace that is already around my neck? You are already it. You are complete already. As that eternal infinite, you are complete already. The expression of it artistically outward is a constant, beautiful, dreamed, creative process. Every moment of that process, you are complete. And it's a beautiful process itself of the creative expression outward as well. Of the turn inward, of piercing the veilless veil, of recognizing, as the Sufi metaphysic Wadat al-Wujud means the unity of all finding. All of the unique ways of the turn inward and all of the different conceptual schemas of understanding the infinite, the eternal, God, awareness, and that piercing the veilless veil and finding. That's the beauty of infinity expressing itself. We are always already complete, and we are always already in a beautiful artistic expressionary process. In a process of turning inward, purifying our mirror, our gem, recognizing our own true nature, finding the infinitude that we are, and optimizing the efficacy that we artistically express ourselves outward with. The jigsaw piece that always fits each of us. Each expression of infinity is the jigsaw piece that always perfectly fits. You are what you want. As St. Francis of Assisi said, that which you seek is what is seeking. The seer itself is what you are seeking. That's why you won't find the peace and the happiness in objects and conspicuous consumption, in greed, in clout, and fame. You will only find the peace and happiness by recognizing your own true, infinite, eternal, shared nature of the seer, of the witness, of the observer, becoming aware of awareness itself. And with that knowledge, Veda, Gnosis, when you have the Znanya, when you have that, going outward is flawless, morally, ethically, maximizing prosperity. There's no lack. You are what you want. All desire is for recognition of infinity. All desire in whatever the external substances, relationships, peak experiences, all of that externalization of happiness and peace externally is all the desire to feel, even if it's for just a minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes in a day, to feel infinity, to feel our true nature as bliss and peace. And each of us deserves to feel our true nature as bliss and peace 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not 10 minutes per day. And that's the recognition of our true nature. That's when we realize our infinitude. That's when we recognize that's what we've been desiring all the time, is that infinite well of honey that is just located underneath of the rock, of the contracted, separate, finite, egoic entity, as Sri Aurobindo said. And as Rupert Spira says, we dissolve the contracted, egoic, finite entity like a sugar cube in the hot tea of infinity. And that's when we recognize the eternal well of that peace, of that happiness, which we then weave into the social fabric. The seer is eternal. It's shared. It is God. It is the pupil. And the unique artistic expression is the iris. Imagine the whole color palette that's available. All of the different combinations of mixes that are possible for each iris. It's infinite. There are 8 billion right now. And there have been 100 billion that have lived and died before these 8 billion right now. Only 108 billion combinations? Way more than that. Infinity before that. Infinity after that. We will never finish exploring something that is unbounded. It's impossible to come to the end of all of the creative combinations of infinity expressing itself. This is but one of the expressions of infinity. This dreamed creation design of this planet with these people, with this unique civilizational story, is but one expression of infinity. And when you recognize your eternity, when you recognize your infinitude that has been undergoing this process of creatively expressing itself with all of these different unique irises across all of these different unique creation designs in all of these dreams, just like you do when you go to sleep at night and you dream your own simulated reality where you immerse yourself into the first person perspective and embark on a unique journey. that is exactly what this is. When that dream ends and it goes whoop, the next dream simulation starts. Has the observer changed? Has the process of observing, of witnessing that dream simulated environment changed? No, that is the eternal awareness that is constantly being colored by the different experiences of the dream simulated realities. Even quantum mechanically, the profound revelation in the just last 100 years, all is no thing, all is energy, all is the infinite modulations, the infinite expressions, the infinite fluctuations of the underlying energy that then create the appearance of form, of matter. Symphonically, how many different songs can musically be played? Infinite, endless, an unbounded amount. This is but one of the songs that our symphony plays. Symphonies don't play just one song. This is the eternal symphony. And we are unique, creative artists in that symphony with all of our unique colorations of our iris, where we are playing different instruments, different melodies. And those that have the recognition of the infinitude, they play in tune. And those that don't have the recognition, that are coming from the contracted, finite, egoic, separate entity, they are playing out of tune, and they are hitting the breaking point of that egoic contraction, and then, like in the parable of the prodigal son, turning inward, recognizing their infinitude, and then playing in tune outward. The I without coloration of identity is shared. The I with coloration of identity is unique art. As we frequently use in our analogies, again massively influenced by Rupert Spira, the I without the coloration of identity is shared. You can tell. It is the same pure, bare, empty awareness without the coloration of identity. That's what we share. That's the pupil. And this is the iris with the coloration of identity as unique art. Look, this pure, bare, empty awareness is being uniquely colored by words. And this pure, bare, empty awareness is being uniquely colored by art. And just like that, each of us has this unique iris coloration, and yet we all share the pupil, the eternal awareness that is infinitely being colored by all of these unique experiences in these dreamed creation designs. The key is to bring your peace and happiness to society. Once you God realize, once you recognize that you are infinity expressing itself, you bring the peace and happiness to society. You no longer try to extract peace and happiness from society. You're not seeking a substance or a relationship or an experience to extract peace and happiness from it, but you are bringing your eternal well of honey, of peace and happiness and awe and love and light and wisdom and grace to every single cloud of experience. With your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with people online, with the community, with the world. You are bringing peace and happiness. And that's how you vortex people. People become gravitated to the peace and happiness that you are bringing. And they wonder, why don't I have 24/7 peace and happiness? Why do I only have 10 minutes of peace and happiness per day? And that's the turn inward. That's when you become the vortex, helping people turn inward, acting as that pure, clean mirror, helping them with atmavichara, self-inquiry, into the question, what is I? Is that I shared and eternal? And am I a creative expression of that infinitude? And you vortex people in, they make the realization, and boom, outward, sahaja samadhi, the natural weaving of the highest morality into the social fabric. Mwah. This is enlightenment, simply recognition of our true nature. The seeker prepares to know themselves as intelligent infinity. And it blends the micro of that unique individuation with the macro of the intelligent infinity expressing itself as the micro of the unique artistic expression. And upon that recognition, that unique expression becomes a very clear, pure vessel for the one to express itself harmonically, in deep alignment with the enlightened realization of infinity, eternally expressing itself creatively. Simple as that. Awareness is God, shared, eternal, the pupil. The iris is the unique artistic expression. Infinity eternally expressing itself. You gotta go inward first to go outward right. It's the sure cause of delight. You gotta go inward first to go outward right. It's the sure cause of delight. It's that simple. And we bring the peace and happiness to the dreamed creation design rather than trying to extract it from it. Calm your mind with the tool that's always with you, the breath. We'll bring the fluctuations of the mind over time down to the quietude that is needed to recognize the diamond necklace of awareness that is already here. The perfect jigsaw puzzle piece that always fits. Adore you. Thank you. If the video brought you value, give it a like. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you. Share the video with people that you feel this would make a profound impact on. Let's spread the simplicity of the childlike analogies, like the pupil and the iris. So simple. Thank you. Infinite love. You gotta go inward first to go outward right. It's the sure cause of delight. You gotta go inward first to go outward right. It's the sure cause of delight. You gotta go inward first to go outward right. It's the sure cause of delight. Hee hee.